Good morning, all of you. My name is Simran Jain. Today, we'll be covering the topic classification of computer on the basis of size. It is from the fundamental of computers subject. Why this topic is important? As it covers it classifies computers according to their data processing speed, the amount of data a computer can hold, and it also classifies the computer on the basis of size. So we need to know what are the different types of computers, how we can classify them. In the last lecture, we have classified computers on the basis of data handling, and in this lecture, we'll be classifying computer on the basis of size. So on the basis of size, there are four types of computers we are going to study in this lecture: supercomputer, mainframe computer, mini computer, and microcomputer. So these computers are classified on the basis of their size, on the basis of their processing speed, on the basis of their storage capacity, and on the basis of their price. So generally, a computer with high processing speed and large internal storage is called a big computer. That means the computer we call a big computer that computer which has high processing speed, which is technologically superior, which has large internal storage. So those computers are considered as big computers in the computer industry. So the first type of computer which we are going to cover is supercomputer. So supercomputers are those computers which are technologically very superior. Supercomputers are those computers which can perform high level of performance, or you can say which can perform high performing activities. Those computers which are used for specific activities or specific applications, or you can say for difficult applications such as weather forecasting, engineering design, testing serious decryptions, economic forecasting, weather forecasting, nuclear energy research, aircraft design. So supercomputers are those computers which solve very complicated scientific problems. Supercomputers are very costly computers because they are technologically very superior and they serve a specific purpose. They are technologically very superior. They have very high performing capacity. They are very expensive computers and they perform and they can use thousands of processors simultaneously. So supercomputers are those computers which you can say have superior powers. They have superpowers because they're technologically the best. The technology is so advanced in these type of computers because these type of computers are used in research, in development, in testing, in forecasting, in oil and gas exploration, in physical simulations. So all the expert activities, all the scientist work and all the applications which requires technological advancement, these are used for those computers. So supercomputers is the most powerful, most fastest and are also very expensive computers. They were developed in 1980s and they were used to process large amount of data. They were used in those applications which require large amount of data and which was used to solve the complicated scientific problems. The main feature of supercomputer is also that the supercomputer speed is measured in million floating point operations per second and it can perform more than 1 trillion calculations per second. It has large number of processors connected parallelly and these systems can use thousands of processors. A supercomputer, if you can say, a supercomputer is around 8,000 times more than a general PC. Matlab, for example, if we have a normal PC, so supercomputer is 8,000 times advanced. Its memory is 8,000 times larger than a normal computer. And these computers are those computers which can be connected at the same time and it can handle the work of each user separately, and these are used for specific applications. As I told you earlier, supercomputers are used for superior calculations for important roles in the field of computation, the important role which play like exploration, gas exploration, research activities, they are generally mostly used for those purposes only. And next we have mainframe computers. Now mainframe computers are also very large scale computers, but supercomputers are more larger than mainframes. Mainframe computers are those computers which are used by big organizations. Mainframe computers are those computers which are used for those organizations which processes data in bulk, such as statistics, census data, processing, transaction processing. So these type of computers are used by those big organizations. For example, banks, insurance companies, railways, IBM, Infosys. So those very big organizations which require very large volume of input and output data. Those computers, those mainframe computers are those computers which are used by those type of organizations because they can provide centralized data storage and they have the ability to run multiple operating systems simultaneously. Mainframe computers are very large, they are very fast, they are very expensive, but in comparison to supercomputer, if we compare both the computers, so supercomputers are more larger, more fastest, and more expensive. But mainframe computers are also very important computers and they also have very large scale computations. But in comparison to supercomputers, they are little smaller. So mainframe computers, these types of systems like mainframe computers, they deliver uninterrupted service for critical business applications. So mainframe computers were mainly designed for big organizations. That is why they are very expensive computers and they can operate very large amount of data and it can support a large number of various equipments. They also have multiple processors and they can handle multiple input and output data for multiple users. Next we have mini computers. Now mini computers are smaller in size. These computers came into the market in mid 1960s and were sold at a much cheaper price than the mainframe computers. The mini computers were actually designed for control, for instrumentation, for human interaction, and for communication switching. These types of computers, mini computers, were used for calculation, for record keeping. They become very popular for personal uses with evolution. So mini computers were those computers which were used for middle range. You can say those were those computers which were used by small organizations, or you can say these were the types of computers which were used by government sector, which were used by specific. These types of computers were used in business for a specific task. So mini computers are multi-user systems. They are larger than microcomputers, but these types of computers are smaller than mainframe computers. You can say a mini computers are those computers which lies between a mainframe computer and a microcomputer in terms of its size, in terms of its speed, in terms of its storage. So mini computers were smaller in size. They have lower processing speed and storage capacity as compared to mainframe computers. They were used in business, education, and many other government departments, and these were designed for a single user, but most of the time, mostly mini computers were designed to handle multiple terminals. So mini computers are commonly used as servers in network environment and hundreds of personal computers can be connected to the network with a mini computer acting as servers like mainframes. Mini computers are used as a web server. So mini computers are basically those computers which are used for middle range, which are used for specific tasks, which are used for small organizations, or you can say government departments or educational field, in which they can handle multiple terminals. These computers are not as big as mainframe computers, but mini computers were redesigned. They were designed in 1960s to perform specific activities of control, communication, instrumentation, etc. And the last type of computers are microcomputers, those computers which we are using today. Microcomputers they use microprocessors, they use single chip CPU, and microcomputers are also called personal computers. So microcomputers are classified into three types. desktop computers, laptop computers, and palm-top computers, or you can say handheld computers. So a microcomputer, what is a microcomputer? The computers which we use today. So as we all know, the microcomputers which we use today are smaller in size. They are relatively inexpensive computer with a microprocessor. मतलब it have a microprocessor as its CPU. The computers which we are using nowadays have a microprocessor as its CPU. So the microcomputer includes a microprocessor, a memory, uh, and it includes a single printed circuit board. These types of computers were used for personal work, for day-to-day computation of your work, for watching movies, for your personal work, for your word, for your calculations. For these were the smart gadgets which you can easily afford and which can perform your daily functions, which can perform your household functions or your organization's functions and your regular functions can be performed with the help of microcomputers. So they were mainly classified into desktop computers, which are also known as personal computers, which are easier to use and more affordable and which can be used for your small applications requirements. Then next it was classified into laptop computers, which are portable computers which you can easily carry, which can also operate on batteries. So it is very popular with the travelers. And the last were handheld computers. Handheld computers were those computers which you can use on your hand, which you can carry in your hand, like palm top computers, like tablet, like smartwatches, tablets, your smartphones. These are all included in handheld computers, which are very affordable. The processing speed in these types of devices is in milliseconds, and they can be used as standalone systems. So microcomputers are available in many sizes, and today those types of computers which you use for personal computers are all included in microcomputers. So that was all for today. We discussed the classification of computers on the basis of size. It is very important. The learning outcome which we learned from this lecture is that we can classify now the computers on the basis of size. We can classify that which type of computers are used for research activity, which type of computers are used in big organizations, which type of computers are used for multiple processors, for small, for middle ranges, and which type of computers which we use in daily life. What are those computers called? Which computers are more expensive? Which computers have large capacity, storage capacity, which have large processing speed? So with the help of this lecture, you all can classify the computers. So which type of computers are you using in your daily life? So if you have any doubt regarding classification of computer on the basis of size on this topic, you can contact me. That was all for today. Thank you so much, all of you.